Hi guys, and welcome to Koi Fish Johnny. You might be wondering why I'm starting this video at my front door, and it's because the view is absolutely beautiful going out to the garden. So we're going to walk around this corner now and we're going to see what we're going to see. So come on, let's go. Look at that. Amazing. So we're going to walk up, in fact I'm going to flip you around where we'll walk down. So here we go guys, as we come to the corner of the house we come round and look at that. What a beautiful view. It's actually raining, would you believe, in Manchester? But look at that. You'll see more of the fish. They've gone down at the minute, but as we approach, look at them. Absolutely sensational view. Let me flip you around. Okay guys, so I hope you really enjoyed that little tour there of coming round the house. I really wanted to share with you just the pure pleasure of walking around my house and seeing the pond and how it draws you through the house. It is beautiful, even in the rain. Like, I'll flip you back round in a minute so we can cut me more out of this shot, because I've just been stood here having a brew, chilling out and watching the fish just swim around, the water beat down on the pond, and the fish are now becoming more visible. And I did that little video with the pHs and all the things that you've got, KH and NOs and all the scientific explanations about what you've got to learn, or the basics of what I've learned so far. I know you enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it. I was a little bit nervous because it's all new to me, but I would like to say that we have had huge improvements on this now. As you can see from here, in fact, I'm gonna have to run outside in a minute and show you and brace myself, but thankfully I was made waterproof, so I should be all right going out in the rain, I reckon. My slippers might not be, but I will be. So back to the fish. So you can see here guys, as we approach the pond, when we go to the pond, the fish will come to us, hopefully. You can see quite a few of them gathering. Hiya fellas. There they are, the koi fish mafia. But what we are seeing is a faint sign of the bubbles there at the back. In fact, so you can see my reflection where my hand is now. If I move it there, you can see the bubbles are starting to come through. That's because we brought up the KH to put resolve in, the resolve to take the phosphate out of the water so the green algae can get lost. And it is working. I'm going to walk around the other side, take a top-down view. Beautiful. Fred up there, as always. The leader feeder, and I'm sure he's going to be grower of the year, but Jagger, the one underneath him, the white one, and Lopez to the right, they're also going to rival him for grower of the year. If you go back through the videos, you'll see what I mean. So let's come round to the bubbles, which help indicate, and look at that. We are getting, despite it being rain, we're getting a lot of clarity there. Look at that. We can see almost down, well, yeah, we can see, oh, way up. Are we starting to see the bottom drain? I think we are, aren't we, Jagger? There he is. He is definitely a contender for grower of the year, Jagger. We've still got a green tint, obviously, but it's only been about 3 days since I put it in. So if we go over the top, look at the bubbles, we're starting to get that sort of effect where we can see them sort of HD style. The fish are ready for feeding, that's why they're all up. We can see down, even though it's raining, quite well. In fact, that's quite a good view. Looking down into it like that. Fred again. Leader feeder. Yeah, son, let's give you a stroke on head. All right, mate. Calm down, I'll feed you in a second. In fact, I might video that. So we come back, look at that. We're seeing right down. I mean, I got a comment today. It's like episode 20 of Green Pond Day. It's like Johnny, the Green Pond keeper, over the past few weeks, and it's been an absolute nightmare. At times, it's been a bit like monotonous, is that the right word? Just going through it all the time, same thing, changing the approach, doing this, doing that. So let me flip you back round. So you can see there guys, it really is starting to make an improvement, and I've been trying to think about how this has gone so wrong. Well, not how this has gone so wrong, because there's been a lot of people with the same problem as me, with the green pond syndrome at this time of year. But I think if we go right back to the beginning of it, I had a pond crash and the ammonia went up quite a bit. The height went up, but the nitrate went through the roof, and we had to try and like change a lot of the water, do a lot of things. But we didn't know I didn't know I was adding tons and tons and tons of phosphate at the time back into the pond and feeding the algae. And that's what took us so long to get back on top of things, which somewhere along the line the KH has gone down, which stabilizes the pH, because the KH is like a stabilizer, like on a bike for the pH, but thankfully the pH didn't crash, didn't change, it stayed the same. So that was good. So going through it now is we've increased the KH. I'm going to go test it after this video, and put the resolve in, because the KH is now above 2, so it's at like 4 or 5. I've not tested it today, but it was yesterday, and that's why we're seeing big improvements on the pond. So one of the things that I did buy recently, because my pond kit was just out of date, was the new NT Labs pond testing kit, which I'm yet to unwrap, but I'm going to be unwrapping it in a minute. And I'm just going to sit down here on one of these little puff things that my wife's bought, which has never been used before, but nonetheless it looks nice around the house, and just have a little chat about the fish, or a little chat about the pond and the experiences going through this. I know so many people go through the green pond syndrome, and I've gone through the green pond syndrome. It is sort of new pond syndrome as well, because my pond is only 1 year old. Like, it was literally its birthday about 2 months ago, so it's still classed as a new pond until it gets to like 3 or 4, and then it's very, very established, and sort of you know more about it. With the pump speeds, I know we had a massive debate, and there's been a huge debate online, of which some of the comments have got like a little bit with each other, having this is the right thing, that's the right thing, I know this, whatever. Anyway, we went all the way up to 90 on both the Nexus feed and the UV and Tempest feed, which is just there, wearing its scuba jacket, which is amazing. Probably fit for this weather, really, because it's raining quite badly. I've adjusted the pump speed of the UV light and Tempest system down to 60%, so 6,000 litres. Sorry, I apologise for if you're getting background noises of cars, because it's rush hour. This is the most amount of cars that we ever go up and down this road. So we're going to get a little bit of that during this video. But you can see there, the fish are looking beautiful. But one of the things is about this window is, because I had the pump speeds up at 90, 2 pumps running 9,000 litres, propelling the vortex around, okay? So what was happening at night time when I'm chilling out over there, watching my fish, is they were working so hard to get to the front there, and then they were being propelled back. And it just got a little bit much for me watching the fish, because I like watching them because they're calm, but they were working so hard to stay in position, because they know that that's where their food comes from, that window. They like to come and watch me getting ready to feed them. So I was watching Lopez, which is the Deutsch, I can't remember the actual breed of it now, it's gone out of my head. I will try and include it in the comments when I put a little comment on below. But it's quite a broad fish, a female broad fish, so she's got more depth on her. And I was sat here one night, I think it was last night, or about 5 nights ago actually, and she just literally went across the window, propelled herself across, and went up and then flew back. And I was like, I'm not enjoying that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not enjoying watching the fish. It was a little bit funny to watch the first time, but you don't want to sit here and watch your fish fly across, like, because of the vortex being so strong. But because my pond is quite narrow, 1.8 metres internally there, by 4 metres long, it's really, really, really strong, the vortex, just spinning and spinning and spinning them round. So like I said, they had to work too hard, so I've knocked it down to 60. And if you just watch them now for a second, you can see there, Jagger at the front taking the brunt of it. It isn't too bad on them. It isn't like, at 90, they were flying back there. But at 60, they just have to work a bit to get up and then come back down, work a bit to get up, come back down. So that also helps them build their immune system, apparently. The more active they are, the more stuff like that, I believe. Yeah, so I've knocked that down to 60. I've kept the Nexus system, I've knocked that down to, I think it was 75. I don't really want to take it lower than that, and that is the high return at the back of the pond, so it doesn't affect this window too much. Look at that stick. I don't know if you see that, but it looked like a stick. It was a massive piece of poo that just flew past. Not good, but I don't often see that much, especially to the size. That must have been one of Winston's, that, or Freddy's. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. That's why I've reduced the speed, because the pond is clearing now. The clarity on the pond is clearing because of the adjustments that we've made. But it has been a hugely challenging journey, and I've been through everything, trialed everything, done everything. I just think it's been systematic points. So from the crash with having the ammonia, nitrate and nitrite going up, then to making quite a substantial amount of water changes, so pouring back in the phosphate, so therefore feeding the algae, but bringing everything down, like the ammonia levels were going down, the nitrite was going down because of the water changes, but the phosphate was staying high, so it was maintaining the green algae. And then going through all the issues that I've had with the UV light, and then going down for my KH dropping, so putting my KH up, to which I didn't put, I put it up too quickly, I know that, and now I don't use phosphate, or I won't be using phosphate. I use, off the top of my head, bicarbonate soda, or there's different ways of pronouncing it in America and England, which makes it just that little bit more confusing. Like, it's not confusing enough to, we're learning all these scientific terms. You've then got to compete with Google's translation to different terminologies, from American terminologies to UK terminologies, maybe even to North and South terminologies, who knows, and then there's a scientific part to throw on the top for good measure. But either way, we're getting there. It's like I say, it's not been an easy journey, and I know it's been hard for you guys to watch, almost cringy at times, me trying to get this pond back to clarity, but it's been a journey. And I know that so many people, when they start the journey, go through this. When you have an established pond, you generally don't have to go through this that many times, because you've learned about your pond. You know what your pond likes. You know the optimal flow rate. You know the optimal filtration amount of times. Like at the minute, I was dropping the filters like 2-3 times a day in the Tempest, 2-3 times a day at the beginning, because I was just in panic. I was like, I need to change more, I need to change more water, but I'm just feeding the phosphate back into the pond and helping the algae grow. So now I've reduced the amount of times that I'm dropping my filters. I'm still trying to do the Nexus once a day and the Tempest once a day, but over the past few days, it's been every other day, I'd say. I've been dropping each one every other day. So it's been more consistent. The water hasn't been changing as much, therefore the phosphate hasn't been flying back into the pond as much. That has helped, I think. I personally think now I'm going to adjust it, providing when I do my test and that all the parameters show up as good, which I'm, fingers crossed, I'm going to do that this weekend, which is, it's Friday now, so that'll be tomorrow, child dependent on when I get out to change it. Right, so I've waffled on there quite a lot about the pond, and quite a lot about the changes that have happened and stuff like that, and now I want to really take it in a different direction. Hopefully the next episode will be just pure clarity, right down to the bottom, no sign of the green stuff anywhere, and the pond has really started to come into its own, and I can start enjoying my fish to the level I want to enjoy them. But then that brings us on to loads more subjects. So I want to try and cover, obviously we did the measuring of the fish, so I want to sort of talk through which fish are feeding the most, which fish might be growing the most, which Jagger is a dark horse white fish, but a dark horse to win this grower of the year, which I'll probably, I think, end of the season. If you guys can comment and say when you think end of the season will be, I'm thinking it's just when the sun starts to, when autumn comes really. So probably about the 1st of October might be a good date to sort of measure them all in and see who's the winner of the grower of the year, percentage wise, and grower of the year centimetre wise. Which centimetre wise I think will be just between Jagger and obviously Freddy. But percentage wise, I'll talk through that in the next video, because some of the little fish have really changed their behaviour recently, especially when we put that Coin Master's Advantage in. When we put that in, bloody hell, we went, every single fish was like it had a turbo, never been fed for a while and had a turbo effect on its appetite. It was just going like crazy. So I'm really excited to see which fish of the small ones grows the most. It is all very exciting. I'm absolutely buzzing that we're just getting somewhere, getting past this green problem, because I know that to you guys that stay regularly tuned, it's like I'm on repeat saying green problem. Johnny the Green Pond Keeper. Is that even right? Am I saying that right? Johnny the Green Pond Keeper, something like that. Anyway, because it was just consistently over these past 4 weeks. But like anything in this hobby, you've just got to take your time. Not too many changes at once, because if you change everything at once, you won't know what's cured the problem. So you'll just be like, with the flow of the pond going through the UVs, if I would have changed that at the same time as changing the amount of times doing the filter, at the same time as changing the amount of time putting KH up and measure it. So yeah, the idea is not to change your pond too much at once, so then you know what can cure it, basically. But one of the interesting problems I've got as I watch that poo fly around, which is disgusting, is because of the bubbles in the middle of my pond and the width of the pond only being 1.8 meters, the skimmer is only skimming half the pond if I have them bubbles up a little bit too much for oxygenating the water. So I have got it up too much at the minute, so I'm going to be going round reducing the amount of bubbles. So I hope you've enjoyed these videos, guys, and I promise, and fingers crossed, the next episode is the conclusion of the green pond syndrome, or the green pond, whatever thing, the end of the algae being prominent in my pond, and my ability to see down to that bottom drain and look at all my fish, count them if I want to, do a checklist, have a little register just in case anyone goes missing, or if any of the fish are off or down or changes in behaviour. Because there's 24 in there, I literally like tick them off. I know it's a bit geeky and stuff, but I like to just make sure that all the fish are there, all the fish are going round healthy, and there's been no like sudden changes, or Lord forbid a heron come in and take one of my fish. So I just do that every now and again, tick them off, make sure they're safe. So I'm going to flip you that round, because I think this is a beautiful moment for you to enjoy a bit of my paradise, especially as I was going to say it's raining, but now, as sod's law has it, it stops raining, hasn't it? But I'll flip you back round and I'll just show you the fish. I've actually seen a robin redbreast just on the grass a minute ago, and that was interesting because he just like darted down, grabbed a worm, pretty much half the size of his body, and flew off. Quite remarkable, them little lads, aren't they? But let's flip you back around and have a little gander at the pond. Okay guys, so here we go. Let's feed them. You know what that is, don't you? The e-cloth, the best thing for cleaning windows, streak free. Even a gimp like me can clean my windows streak free with that thing. Let's bang a bit of this food in. Come on guys. But you can tell there by simply looking down onto the fish. In fact, Morrison's carp box looks terrible. Hopefully that'll go soon, but I might have to keep a bit of a closer eye on him. There's another one, the Sankey. My beautiful Sankey that just shot down. It's coming back up there on the right hand side. That's a contender for grower of the year. That is going to be some fish, that, as he races off. Whenever you're trying to catch a fish on camera, you always race off. That's Lopez, the one that I told you about, was on the treadmill that got through back and made me do the penultimate moment on turning it down. They've all just shot down now. I'm not sure why, but don't worry guys, the food will be removed that they don't eat within the next 5 minutes. But I'm sure you'll agree. It is beautiful. Just, I mean, look there, we've got the depth there. We have got quite a bit of depth there in the viewing. That's the Sankey I'm talking about, turning to the right. Tanchel there with his carp box. The two of them got, hey, there's Eric. That's the guy that started this journey off. He was the one that was living in solitary. So you guys that haven't watched my earlier videos, when we bought this house, yeah, I'll flip you back around and tell you about Eric. Yeah, so a quick word about Eric, to anyone that doesn't know, that hasn't watched my earlier videos, is when we bought this house a few years ago, we had a sunken pond, Japanese style, there. And the guy, when we bought it, I said, is there any fish in that pond? And he says, I don't think so. And I was like, oh right, never mind then. And anyway, we'd been in here for 6 months over the winter. Came to April, was in the garden. Next thing you know, seen the fish, or seen Eric, the tench, the golden tench he is. And then we dived into rescuing him. The pond was disgusting, absolutely disgusting. It was horrific. If you watch my earlier videos, like episode 1, if you go all the way back to that, I think that's got Eric in it. One of them's got Eric in it. So I dived in the pond, cleaned the pond out, and thought, you know what, that lad needs some friends. I'm going to the local koi keeper. So I went to the local koi place, bought myself 3 koi as little friends for him, which was originally Otis, Lopez and Jagger. They were the first 3 in to go with Eric. And they were like this big on him. They were like this big, and he was like bigger than my hands. And now it's the opposite way around. But yeah, it was beautiful. It was just beautiful seeing Eric come up there, because he is a very, very shy fish. He's not even a koi in his koi. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed that video, guys. I hope you're enjoying the progress that the pond is making. As we can see there, we are really, really starting to see the outline of the bubbles. So I'm hoping in the next episode, you will just have pure clarity, probably less of Johnny on the camera, and more of just the fish. Just them beautiful little rascals swimming around. Okay, guys, take care. Please subscribe to the channel. We're growing every single day, and it is beautiful to see the comments, the people coming on board, the motorbikes driving past when I'm trying to record. So we're growing every single day, and it is beautiful to see how I'm being received, and the support that people are commenting, hearing about people, David, who commented recently about his daughter doing a project in America about water. That was absolutely fantastic to hear. I had a good little chat with him. And it's good to hear about your stories as well. It's all a big learning curve, and I'm only just at the beginning. Oh, and if you guys have got this far in the video, in my last video I asked if I could take my L plates off. So if you do think I'm justified in taking my L plates off, my koi L plates, please comment, take your plates off. All right, if you don't, say keep your plates on, which will be disappointing for me, but never mind. Yeah, so please, I've waffled on like mad there. Yeah, take care, guys. Please subscribe, please take care, please enjoy it. Oh, and I've just finished recording that, come back to here, and they have smashed the pellets. There's one that I can see there, one pellet, the rest are little bubbles, looking beautiful. Okay, that's it now, I promise.